Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Critical Role, and we're going to talk about Taldorei Reborn. Woo! Very, very fascinating. So what happened? And D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond. So Matthew Mercer, he is truly superhuman, right? Like, he has just so many talents. So he is a very good voice actor, right? He's good at it, legit, right? He's also happens to be the best dungeon master on the planet. That is not debatable. It's a fact, right? I will tell you, this fact astounds me. Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition outsold 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th combined. Okay, do you understand that? And Matthew Mercer, he's not all of it, but he is some of it, right? Jeremy Perkins, Jeremy Perkins, Christopher Perkins, and Jeremy Crawford. You can jam those two guys together like they're the same thing, pretty much, right? All right, Christopher Perkins, Jeremy Crawford, right? They're designers, right? They just, there's so many things about them that are exactly the same. They're barely distinguished humans, but they are distinguished humans. They're two different people. Oh man, yeah. And the only reason that's a little painful is so many Dungeons and Dragons designers have those word cleaver attributes. Like, they just word cleaver till the day is done, and it's rough, man. It's rough. The ward cleaver wall is real. It is very real, right? And if you don't have those two attributes, you got to climb over it. It's the heart of America. Man, I hope it goes away. We'll see, right? So Christopher Perkins and Jeremy Crawford, they designed Dungeons and Dragons, and and yeah, that really, yeah. Okay, those guys are two just so alike. It's really odd. Sorry. Okay, Taldorei Reborn. Okay, so Matthew Mercer, right? So he is. So here's the thing. Taldorei Reborn was Matthew Mercer going, I'm going to do my own little thing. I know I contracted to do 3 Dungeons & Dragons books, and I know I'm a D&D canon author, but I can be a real boy. Like Pinocchio ended up, and like, someday I'll have my own tabletop role-playing game, and I'll topple the dragon. Really, no, you won't, right? And that's what Taldorei Reborn being sold on D&D Beyond is. It is an utter surrender by Critical Role. There's a whole. What does Taldorei Reborn being sold on D&D Beyond mean? One, I was right about the following things. Okay, one, Critical Role ain't nothing but Matthew Mercer. You could take all of them, replace them overnight, and replace every single one of them, and Critical Role would be just fine. Like, ain't nobody like he is. It's Michael. He's Michael Jordan, and there is no Scottie Pippen, right? Like, and the reality, it's just and the thing is, and the reason why is, if anybody had been like, they gave Candelabra Obscura, they handed that over, and they're like, hey, Taliesin Jaffe, why don't you do some work? And he's like, I'll do it. I'll hire a guy to horribly copy John Harper's Black Blades in the Dark. And I'll tell you, Taldorei Reborn being sold on D&D Beyond, here's what it means. It means Critical Role is like, oh, we talked a lot of crap when the OGL Crisis was coming out, but guess what we learned? We learned that you can't just you can't just copy somebody else's work and call it a tabletop role-playing game. And that means making tabletop role-playing games is hard, and we fail at it, which they did, right? Daggerheart just released a Gen Con, and you know what they had to do? They had to waft the stink of Candela Obscura off of it. Because Candela Obscura was like, hey, what you got for us, Critical Role? Hey, we got refried beans, John Harper's Blades in the Dark. What do you think? And everybody's like, that's refried beans, John Harper's Blades in the Dark. That's what we think, right? You guys didn't even try. You let Taliesin Jaffe take the lead on this? This is garbage, right? Like, do you guys have anybody who does any work beyond Matthew Mercer? And the answer is no, right? Like, and so basically, Taldorei Reborn being slapped up on D&D Beyond is a full surrender by Critical Role. they ain't going nowhere. Nowhere, right? Daggerheart is not a Dungeons & Dragons killer, right? And frankly, this is full surrender from Critical Role, right? And not for a bad reason, right? Here's the end of what this means. What this means is we are on tracks. We are on rails. We are on rails. You want to know who the next design lead for Dungeons & Dragons is? The next design lead for Dungeons & Dragons is Matthew Mercer. He is the future of the game in every possible way, right? And frankly, it would be nice to have a female design lead because we've never had one in the history of Dungeons & Dragons. But you know what's going to trump a no pun intended. What's going to trump a female design lead? An American celebrity design lead. That's going to trump. American celebrity is the most powerful force on the planet. And legit, Matthew Mercer is a legitimate American celebrity. That dude's Ganondorf. Come on now, right? Like, and so the reality is, I think Matthew Mercer genuinely loves Dungeons & Dragons, and this is full surrender from Critical Role. They're like, you know what? Everybody's been debating it. Everybody's been looking to see what happens. We're Hollywood. We ain't gonna make any bold moves. We thought that you guys might topple when the OGL came out, but Dungeons & Dragons defeated the OGL debacle with good communication. It started with the Influencer Summit, and then they crushed it with Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, and then they crushed it with Baldur's Gate 3, and this is the year of Dungeons & Dragons. And even their losses defeat their competitors so embarrassingly. Hasbro just said, hey, Q2, we lost $235 million. Okay? You know what the OSR Indies response to that was like? We wish we made $235 million for our entire industries combined in a year. The losses you report are greater than our entire revenue for an entire year. And our revenue is so small and so laughable, nobody follows it, nobody reports it, and banks do not care about OSE or Pathfinder. There you go. Taldorei Reborn being sold on D&D Beyond is, I'm right. OSR and Indie, wrong. There ain't no D&D coming anytime, killer coming anytime soon. Nothing, right? And the reality is, Critical Role is all in. They're dancing with the one who brung them. They're all in with D&D. And why wouldn't they be? Dungeons & Dragons made them millionaires. Every single word, that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.